Welcome to North Lawndale, one of 77 communities located in Chicago on the west side, organized in 1857 and has an extremely rich history made up of movements, residents, parks, gardens, industry, and institutions. North Lawndale covers 3 zip codes and houses the city's largest concentration of gray stone buildings that outline city parks and boulevards. The style of the gray stone was erected deliberately due to the aftermath of the Chicago fire of 1871. And there's an estimated 30,000 gray stones that still remain in the city, with the majority of them being located in North Lawndale. Let's delve a little more into this historic community. It had a population between 1910 and 30 that grew from 46,000 up to 112,000, and almost half of the residents were Russian Jews. Between 1930 and 50, the Russian Jews started moving north to communities, and African Americans slowly replaced Jewish residents and white flight began. The white population dropped from 87,000 to less than 11,000 in 1960s, and the African American population grew from 13,000 to more than 113,000, which caused Lawndale to reach its highest population at nearly 125,000 and was 91% African American. Unfortunately, black families in Chicago lost between 3 to 4 billion in wealth due to redlining and predatory housing contracts during the 1950s and 60s. From 1906 through 1973, Sears Roebuck and Company, the world's largest commercial building, was a major source of economic stability in the North Lawndale, conducting a bulk of its mail order operations and employing approximately 22,000 workers, many of whom were local residents. But after the warehouse phased out and jobs were taken away, the area fell into a state of disinvestment, and there was a series of economic and social disasters for this increasingly isolated, segregated community. In 1966, the neighborhood's poverty prompted Dr. King to designate North Lawndale as the base for the Northern Civil Rights Movement, and he took up residency for 6 months with his wife Coretta Scott King and their 4 children at 1550 South Hamlin, where he centered his campaign on housing, vowing to end the slums of Chicago and to publicize the dramatic need for housing reform. Good morning, my fellow Chicagoans. This is LaShonda Williams with Living Well Realty, and I am here on the west side of Chicago, the best side, North Lawndale community, born and raised. I am standing on the very block where Dr. Martin Luther King moved his wife, Coretta Scott King, along with their 4 children back in 1966. Again, on this very block at property address 1550 South Hamlin. This is where he started the Freedom March for fair housing. After the assassination of King on April 4th, 1968, riots followed, destroying many of the stores along Roosevelt Road and accelerating a decline that led to a loss of 75% of the businesses in this community. Homes were abandoned and thousands of structures were leveled during this time. Since the 1980s, gardens and patchwork of green spaces have filled many of those vacant lots. By the 1990s, we saw a renewed investment of activity in the neighborhood, and housing prices began to rebound. North Lawndale was and is also still known for its beautiful parks. Douglas Park was established in 1869 and offers a quiet getaway for recreation, beautiful winding passages, rustic pavilions, and a lagoon. Recently, in July 2020, in consideration of a Westside student-led petition that started in 2017, the Chicago Park District Board unanimously voted in September 2020 to officially remove the park's name, Douglas Park, named after Stephen A. Douglas, who was a Civil War-era senator and one of the country's notorious slavery advocates, and to replace the name after abolitionist Frederick Douglass, who was an escaped slave who became a prominent activist, author, and public speaker. We're going to take a tour also to the North Lawndale Christian Development Corporation, LCDC, which was established in 1987 to bring holistic revitalization to the lives of the North Lawndale residents through economic empowerment, housing improvements, educational enrichments. Let's take a tour. I want to give a special thanks to North Lawndale Community Development Corporation, also known as LCDC, established in 1987 and is a very huge and intricate part of the North Lawndale community. We're loving God and loving our people and loving our community. See you soon. Dedicated to revitalizing, rebuilding, rehabbing abandoned apartment buildings and single-family homes and renting and selling at affordable rates. As to this current day, November 2020, North Lawndale is no longer considered the underdog. There has been a significant refocus of intrigue and interest by the public and private sectors as people are beginning to recognize and embrace the many strengths of this community for its great location, just 5 miles shy of downtown, affordability, good parks, public transportation, and being centrally located to surrounding suburbs, businesses, and shops and restaurants. Again, North Lawndale is definitely a community you should get to know.